And welcome to a special edition of Competing for Christ. Not only do I have Kyle Big K Smith with me, but we have his twin brother Luke and Luke's wife Caitlin here with us. We're super excited.
Get nicknames?
You're going to have to give them nicknames. You got nicknames for them?
I'm Black Lightning.
Black Lightning and Katie Kaboom.
Katie Kaboom.
Nice. That was that's a Scott given nickname, is it? Yeah. So Kyle's been dreaming about this epic podcast for, I don't know, ever since we started. He's like, we got to get Luke and Caitlin on these podcasts with us. So, and here it is. How are you excited?
I'm excited. He's happy.
Are you guys excited?
The audience me or them?
Them.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I don't think we've never done anything like this before, so it'll be interesting, but we're happy to be here.
And I know the audience is excited. I know you guys are smiling behind the cameras right now as we speak. You better be. It's going to be fun. Well, actually, we have no idea what we're going to be talking about, really, but we're just going to have a fun time.
Yes. First of all, we are, if you notice, this scenery is different because we are actually on location in Indianapolis. So we are at the conference, the Crossroads League's conference championships in track and field. We came to watch my youngest son, their youngest brother, Chad, run, and then a lot of their old teammates were also here today, so they were able to catch up and do some of that. So we are actually in a VRBO in Indianapolis, so that's the different scenery that you don't normally see Kyle and I in. We talked about it our last podcast that our topic was going to be trash talking. Trash. So we were talking about confidence versus arrogance, and in there we were talking about several different professional athletes, especially that we weren't really thinking that they're arrogant, but they were good at trash talking. And then I don't know. I have me personally have I enjoy trash talking sometimes, and I don't mind getting trash talked to at times, but I also know that it can be harmful and things like that. So I thought we would just discuss that a little bit because I'm sure you guys have experienced it or have dished out some trash talk as we've gone. So let's just define what we think trash talk is. What do you consider trash talk? What do you consider trash talk?
Good question. This is how this is kind of how I think. Just so you guys know, like I never know what they're going to say until it just happens, and I just start speaking. So, how do I define trash talk? I would say trash talk is whenever you speak to your opponent and just say things to either put them down or not just put them down, but to make fun of or in light of what that's happening in the situation. And it's like, oh, you only had this. Like you point out their weaknesses, and then at the same time, not always, but you could build yourself up too. But you mostly just point out their weaknesses and just let them know that they're weaknesses.
Okay. Kate?
I think one thing to add to that, I think it's part of the psychological game too. I think you can compete physically with your opponent, but talking trash is competing mentally with them too. It's gotcha. I'm going to get in your head before we're even competing physically.
Right. Yeah, I think that's generally the purpose of it, besides just having fun with it. So do you think that it is just we're going to be discussing this, but your first thing, do you think trash talking is wrong? Like if I were to say, if someone came up to you and said, well, the Bible says that let no unwholesome word come out of your mouth, but only that which is edifying to others. Does that include trash talking? What do you think?
Well, I don't really know. I feel like when someone trash talks to me, I don't automatically think it's de-edifying but I don't think it's unwholesome. But maybe it's not. But I don't want to consider it wholesome either, if that makes sense. But it's also not neutral. I have no idea. When I hear if Luke says, we're talking about recently, if you want to share the story about the race in the 800 and what you're saying? Like, you want to talk about that story at all, or?
I run the 800, and Kyle also runs the 800. But if you guys know when we race, Kyle's generally the better he is the better 800 runner, but he doesn't mean he's always going to win. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of having like a really good year, junior year, and I just remember we were in the Omega dorm, and I just looked at Kyle and I said, "You might be the better 800 runner, but I'm going to beat you tomorrow." And I was like, looked at him very confidently, and I'm just like, "I'm going to win." And then Kyle just like looked at me, and he just looked kind of confused. It was just like, "All right, we'll see." And I just remember going to bed. I was like, "I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him." Like, I was like convinced, but I don't think that's like unwholesome. That's just me. I like to call it banter, but we can talk about that later.
How would you then decipher between trash talking and banter? You guys.
Yeah. So bantering is more just like, I'm just having fun. In my head and like through my heart and my actions, I'm still coming out in a loving way. I want the best for the other person. I want them to give their absolute best. And if they beat me, they beat me. Like, next time, hopefully I win the next one. But I feel like trash talk, I feel like there's just some like incentive or motive to bring someone else down, which that's not my motive when I'm saying I'm going to beat Kyle in the 800. I'm just like, I want you to know that I'm coming out after you, and like, you better be ready.
Yeah. So do you think that if you are trash talking and you get beat, that you feel like, or it doesn't really matter? Like, if you're bantering and you get beat, generally like, okay, no, I don't care. It's no big deal.
I would feel the same way. Probably. I don't like losing. So it's like, if I put myself out there saying like, I'm going to win, and I don't win, it's like, well, that stinks.
Even if you didn't say anything and you lost, he's just like, that stinks still.
Right.
Yeah.
It still stinks, but it's worse when you
say you're going to do something
and you don't back it up with your actions. Yeah. So it's like, but I still like saying it because for me, I'm a big believer in like
speaking things into existence.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to come true because I can't speak things into existence, but it's like having that belief and faith that you're going to do something helps it come into fruition, in my opinion.
So if you were to, I think when we were off camera before we were off air, Kate, you were saying that that trash talking among friends or whatever you thought was okay. I mean, explain that. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I feel like it depends on the relationship. Like, for me, I'm somebody that's very comfortable, like, talking a little bit of smack, talking a little bit of game, like, to people that I like know well, and they know me, and they know like I don't mean anything bad by it. It's kind of just like a playful way to like engage outside of the game too. But I feel like if you're talking to like strangers like in that same way, it just feels like inappropriate to me because like they don't know you and they don't know like your heart toward them.
It's like wrestling, right? You don't want to wrestle. You could wrestle your family, but you can't wrestle a total stranger. Like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No, you know what I'm saying? It's like people might think it'd be like attacking them if you just wrestle. It's like, hey, let's wrestle. Oh, I was like, dude, like this is weird. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is like assault. But when you're doing it with the family in the context, like I could go to Luke and be like, out of nowhere, like nothing really would.
And immediately I will respond and beat the crap out.
No, that's not true. No, but it's like, but out of like unprovoked, just he'll come after me, I come with him, and that's somewhat. It's not like it's okay, but that's unokay too. It's we're brothers. The context of the family. You do it with a complete stranger, it's like that's assault.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's like almost like it's kind of like uncalled for. Like I know it's like somewhat almost expected in the competition sometimes, but like I feel like if you're just like going after somebody and they're like not reciprocating it, or you're like weren't on the same page about it, it's just like, why are you coming at me right now?
Mm-hmm. Unspoken rules is a game, you know. It's like we know what's okay, what's not okay. We don't have to like talk about it. It's like I know that we like what's okay and what not to say. Okay, I know what's okay and what's not okay, and how we talk to each other in the midst of this competition. And it really depends on who you're speaking to and your relationship with them, like Caitlin said.
Yeah. Okay. I can get behind that. But how would you know if for chance that it might be okay. Like if somebody like trash talks you first and you're okay with it, then it's probably okay to trash talk back. There's times where I know that I've played with like cards. There were times I trash talk most is when I'm playing cards, and generally it's with friends. But every once in a while, we'll bring somebody who is not a friend. That's well, not a friend, but someone that we don't know very well, and we just incorporate them into the game. And we're all trash talking one another, and we start trash talking them, and they just dish it right back because they feel the atmosphere. Okay, this is what you understand. This is what's going on.
Unspoken.
Yeah, kind of unspoken. Yeah, like you could just understand it.
I was going to say, I think Luke always says about a lot of things, like he likes to like test the waters first.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe like throw out like a little thing and see how they respond. It's like, oh, okay. They give a little something back. It's like, okay, maybe this person's okay with it. But if they're just like super taken back and don't respond to it well, it's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't talk trash to this person because it's going to ruin the relationship.
Yeah. I do think too, like I'm sure that you guys have played, a game if you are already like, I don't know if you've had a bad day or like you've got some kind of emotions going already and you are like primed. Like if someone starts trash talking to you, that it's just going to rub you the wrong way. Mm-hmm. So that's a good idea to test the waters or, read the room, I suppose is what you're kind of saying.
I think, and also, when we do recognize that you say something that's out of turn and you recognize that you might have said something unintentionally, but you did say something that hurt someone, that's a good time to apologize. It's like, I've made a mistake, and it's like, we're not just going to let it by, and it's like, okay, well, I hope, like, let me try to make it right through these whatever actions, It's like, hey, it's like, after the game, after whatever aside, to say, hey, I've said this, I'm sorry, let me make this right, will you forgive me? Yeah. And maybe it's like, oh, I didn't feel anything about it. It's like, okay, maybe that's true, maybe it's not true, but at least you did your part and try to make it right after you think you made an offense towards the other party.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've ever had someone trash talk you, or it actually made you feel like bad, or do you normally just like it just rubs off your back?
I'm not going to name any names, but yes, and sometimes there's trash talk, and it's even as the nature of our relationship. I'm just like, why'd you have to say that? But I'm not gonna make any names, but it does happen.
I think for me, like, for the most part, when someone's talking trash to me, it all depends on the intent. Like, if I feel like they're just trying to get under my skin and, I don't know, for no good reason.
Yeah.
It actually does bother me. I'm just like, what is your motive, But when there's just like, I'm just trying to have fun with you and I can feel that body language, like the way you're expressing yourself, then I'm like, I like to give it back. I'm like, all right, I'm a playful guy. So like, I enjoy being playful back in that kind of way.
Yeah. Well, who is the biggest trash talker in the Gazica family? Who's the biggest trash talker in the Smith family? What do you think?
I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, I guess.
What do you think in our family? Who do you think?
In our family, I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know.
I think it's Scott.
I think any given day it's probably Scott most times, but I could see myself being number one sometimes. I could see Luke being number one sometimes. It really depends on what's the scenario and what's happening.
I do think it's Scott.
But
let's say we're playing, depending on what you're playing.
Yeah,
too.
If we're playing video games, definitely Scott, because Scott's definitely, and he would say, "You suck, you're the worst." I was like, dude, Scott, chill. He's like, "You're stupid." I was like, "Dang, Scott."
Well, here's the thing. Like, even though Scott's saying the words, like I said, like, it doesn't feel like trash talk. It feels like our brother Scott has autism, right? And I feel like he just has sayings that he thinks he has to say after he wins or after he like loses. Like, if he loses, it's like, oh, that, like, you know what I'm saying? He like does what you're supposed to do when you lose. So it doesn't even feel like he's like, I'm the winner when he wins. I'm not like,
oh yeah, I win,
I win. I'm
you
the winner.
Suck.
Yeah, you suck. I'm not even taking it personally. I'm just like, you're just saying your little routine thing that you're supposed to say when you win. But if he's like,
where do you think he gets that from? Where do you think he got that
from things he watches.
Okay.
But like, if it was something like, if he looked at me and was like, Luke, that was not good, which he would not say that. But I'm just like,
wow, I'm surprised you were that bad.
yeah, exactly. That would hurt my feelings. I'm like, okay, dang, like, wow, you know? But I don't feel like that. I'm trying to think of someone who would intentionally like say something to bring me down.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name names, but there's 2 people in the family that have done that.
It's not out, but we might have mentioned one of those times in the podcast. Oh. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, never mind. Maybe
we did. I mean, I think the last podcast we did.
But it's not out on YouTube yet.
Yeah, it's not on YouTube yet. It's not out yet. I was like, what? I don't know. So you don't have you don't know who in the Gazica family is the trash talker?
I honestly
you're all so nice and kind and uplifting.
No, definitely not. I feel like I don't think any of us are worse than the other. I mean, maybe me. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe me. I feel like I like
He
that.
doesn't want to engage in that. I'm not going to say.
No comment.
No comment. Yeah. What are some of the athletes, like professional athletes, have you heard that are the biggest trash talkers? I heard that Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers. Have you ever watched any of his videos? People talking about him trash talking, and he basically would put them down, and he would kind of predict or tell them exactly what he was going to do to embarrass them. He's like, I am going to dribble through my legs, I'm going to go to the right corner, and I'm going to put up his 3 right in your face. and then he does it. So it's like you can back it up. But and then we were talking about like a Conor McGregor type.
Yeah, Conor McGregor is
those
definitely
guys.
a trash talker. But see, like the thing with Larry Bird, to me, that feels more like banter. Like you're speaking things like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it. That's like, for me, it's just fun. That's not anything mean. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not being disrespectful to someone's family, calling people a bunch of names.
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah.
Like when
like
Conor
Mike
McGregor,
Tyson.
like Mike Tyson or Conor McGregor, like when
yeah.
they talk, I'm like, dude, that's disrespectful. But like Larry Bird, what you just said wasn't disrespectful. I'm like, that stuff feeds into me. Like I'm like, oh, I want to. I was like, I feel challenged, and I'm ready to accept that challenge. That's what it makes me feel like.
Okay, so there's when we first started this podcast, we were defining on what competition was for, and Kyle said that competition should make you better, and it should make the other person better. When you're competing, you're trying to elevate them, and by elevating them, you're also elevating yourself. So if that is the case, then where does trash talk go and fit into the picture? What do you think? Or does it?
I think when, at least going piggyback on my fluke things, like does it not? I don't know. It's like case by case basis. But if you know you're dealing with somebody who responds positively to say, it's like, hey, I'm gonna dribble through my legs, come to the corner, pump fake twice, shoot in your face, and it's like, try to stop me, and that that's going to is like, okay, I know what he's going to do. This is a good teaching, learning experience. Like, and like, I know what he's going to do. Let's see if I can stop him. And if you can or can't, like, that's whatever. But like, if you know that can encourage someone to get the best out of them, maybe that's where it falls into play. But like we said before, it's a case. You kind of treat it as a case by case basis. Not everyone responds similarly to that kind of way of speaking. Like I might respond more positive to that than someone like our Chad would.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of how things work.
So we had talked about in the last podcast that some of the things, being an arrogant person generally is for show. Sometimes it's for show, and it's entertainment purposes. Do you find like when you're watching somebody trash talk or doing, yo mama jokes or anything like that, it's putting down another person, that it's funny and entertaining? And is that okay?
I find that stuff funny at times and entertaining. However, I don't think it's okay to bring someone down. Like, I'm not an advocate for it, but sometimes my actions are supporting it because I'm laughing.
I mean, you see those YouTube videos where someone says something and then they have that meme where everybody's on, oh, because they just totally slammed on somebody.
Yeah, I guess, like, is it okay, not okay? I think we talked about this in the last podcast, but sometimes it's not like if someone needs to be put in their place, not like you're trying to put them in their place, but they say something out of turn, you just like put it back on their face, like, just so you know, you just said something out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? And you might be a burn, like, oh, like for example, Ernie Johnson. I was inside the NBA, just came to my head right now. They were all talking about like making your mama jokes, and Ernie was just like, I guess, just, you know, not like, he's like just saying nothing really. And this guy on Twitter says, "Hey, come on, Ernie, defend yourself." And like, your mama's. They're killing you or something like that, and he spelled "there" wrong. He said, like, the Twitter guy. He's like, well, by the way, to the Twitter guy, he's like, it's pronounced THEIR, and Shaq and Kenny and Chuck was like, oh, okay, wow, nice job. He's like, maybe your mama should have taught you that. And everyone's going crazy. It's like,
I have seen that. I saw. I think you showed me that.
It's like, you know, they went at Ernie, and then Ernie was just like, you know, hey, let me just go back. Like, it's just playful, you know.
Yeah. Whatever that clip you showed me of Richard Sherman, was it Richard Sherman?
Yeah.
And that was like that wasn't playful.
Yeah, that wasn't playful. He's like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. He's like we're not. It's like I've accomplished more in my field than you accomplished in your field. I am top 22 players in the NFL. You're not top 22 of anything ever, of anything in your life. It's like, that's not playful. That's just mean spirited. That's just like, I'm here to destroy you as a person, and I don't care how. Like, that was not good. Richard Sherman was out of line for that.
Yeah, I think anytime that you are pointing out someone's weakness or failure or what have you, I do that a lot, I think, but it is all in good fun. This is my purpose for doing it. So you just have to realize that the way you mean something is not always the way someone will take it. But, you know, if, like in Richard's case, that was basically, I'm doing this because I want to put you down. I want to put you in your place or what have you. So let's just. Oh, you got something? Kate?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, my little opinion. I don't know about, like, how I feel about it in, like, a team versus team, like, context. Because I feel like it's, like, harder to say, like, what's cool and what's not. But I feel like in, like, a one-on-one, like when we're playing, like, basketball or, like, pick up whatever together, I feel like it can make it, like, more fun for me. Because I feel like sometimes, like, we're both so competitive that if we're just focusing on, like, the competition and we're, like, not talking, we're just focusing on, like, scoring points or making the next basket, I'll, like, start to get frustrated when I'm losing. I'm like, this isn't even fun. But when we're, like, talking to each other and, like, talking a little smack, it just, like, makes it more fun, I think. It, like, keeps it, like, playful and lighthearted.
Yeah.
Friendly banter, not trash talk.
Yeah, and that is pretty important for a healthy marriage, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about your
Marriage.
marriage. No,
It's
I was going
fantastic.
to say between you and Kyle, some of your most memorable competitions. Most memorable competitions. Do you have any? Between
Most
one another?
memorable, huh?
I can't think of what. Most of them were just talking about more just racing at each other. There's the ones I think about, the fun runs. You know, like Luke was always number one. I was always number two. But I wasn't like I just took so much pride in just being number one and number two. Like, I didn't care about beating Luke as much as just like, we just have to be number one and number two. I don't care. Like, I always wanted to beat Luke, but I was just like, I more than being Luke, I just didn't want to have anyone in between us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just have to be the best. I think, but when we did that beep test,
Yeah, beep test.
Yeah, and there's a time where Luke always won. When we're growing up, the beep test. We're growing
Was
up.
this at Super Kick?
At Super Kick,
Oh.
and we're just going back. Like I've always.
I feel like you can explain it better.
Explain the beep test real quick.
I just want to make sure he said it in the mic. Yeah. The beep test happens as you have cones set apart 20 meters from each other, and then every beep you get, you have to get like beep, and then you have to get into the next beep 20 meters away, beep, in time. And if you miss it twice in a row, you're out of the competition. And each beep gets a little faster. It goes beep, beep, and it goes beep, 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 and then beep, beep, beep. Not that fast, but that's kind of like imagery. That's how it kind of works. So, so Luke and I, it's an endurance test. It's an endurance test, and like it gets slower, then faster and faster and faster, and the longer you go through it, the harder it gets. And Luke and I was always number one, number two, just growing up. But Luke, not just was number one, he was like so far number one. Like just like he was just it was like I was second by a lot from third, but Luke was first a lot more than I was from second to third. It's just crazy. And so I'm just like, man, this guy's insane. And there's one time I felt like I was just going crazy. We're like both like 6th grade, 7th grade, and we're like level 135. It's a little different than the ones you had, but level 135, and we're just going back and forth, and everyone in Super Kick were just going like, how the heck? Like these guys are going way farther than any like even our 16-year-olds are going. Like we're like 13 years old and just going crazy, and I was just like, I'm gonna beat Luke. And then at the same time, I was just like, I don't know if I could beat him. Like, I quit. And then right when I quit, Luke gets done. Like, no, he just ran enough just to beat me. I was like, I could have got him another one. I just could have got another one, but I did it.
That was the thing, because like when we were younger, even younger than that, I would go till I was pretty much tired. But Kyle definitely was pushing me that day, and I was just like, this is a first. Like I'm actually like I don't want to be doing this anymore. We were running so long, like everyone in Super Kick was out. Like they were out for a long time, and we're just going back and forth.
They were out at like 90. We're like 134, 35. Yeah.
And it's just like we had that like healthy, I would say it's pretty healthy twin like rivalry almost like, and it's just like I had to defend my title of being the endurance king. I will not lose. I don't care how tired I am. I will run the extra one until he drops. And I just had that in my mind, and I was just like every single beep, I was like, I want to drop, but I'm not going to do it because he's not dropping. And we just pushed each other. Mm-hmm. And yeah, right when he dropped, I was like, thank the Lord. I was like, I'm done. There's no point. I already won. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no point in to prove anything. I'm dead tired. I don't have to do anything. I'm not trying to reach some goal that like the Super Kick record of the beep test or anything. So I'm just like,
Yeah, you probably did. But at least for our age group. Yeah. Another thing I'm thinking about just going to like elementary school, because Luke and I were like one of the better athletes in our classes. Like there'll be times where our gym, like our classrooms would go against other classrooms in like the 2nd grade or the 5th grade when we're in school. And so when we play games like Capture the Flag or anything like their team battles, like Luke and I were each other's representatives, like I'm representing my class and Luke's representing his class.
Was this like I think this is an end of the year kind of thing.
We did it a couple times, but and so like we had times where like we had it like tag each other. And can you hold the mic for a second? Like this.
I know exactly the story, and I was actually thinking of Caitlin holding my mic.
Yeah, and we just go to each other and we just start doing this to each other. It's like there's a table across from us.
Yeah,
and we just look at
like
each
in
other.
The left corner, like at recess.
Yeah. And we just automatically just like this. So it'd be good. It's like whoever tagged each other like got out and like we were like representing our entire class, and we both just automatically do this.
It's like we just had like that twin instinct. Yeah. Like this is it. You're representing your class. I'm representing my class. May the best man win.
Yeah.
We just did this, and basically the game was like you had to try to tag the person without their hand touching you first. I don't know what the game's called.
Me neither.
If you know, put it in the chat.
Comments, please.
Comments, yeah.
If you went to Worthington Christian, can we?
This is a game though that I think other schools have played.
Or if you play this game, then just let us know.
But
isn't it called Everybody's It Tag?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Everybody's it tag.
Everybody.
So everyone's it, and you have to try to tag everyone before you get tagged. So like we would reach, and if I touched Kyle before he touched me, then he was out. and I won.
He did.
We play video games a lot, and sometimes they can get a little bit, well, depending on who we're playing with. But generally, if we're playing with your youngest brother, Chad, is probably the best video gamer, at least in the Nintendo games. And what I notice is that, does he bring out the best in you guys? Because you seem to always want to beat him, but he is pretty good at beating you.
He brings out the worst in me when we play games. Because I'm so bad. It's not even a competition. It's not fun at all. Probably for him or me. Because it's just absolutely demolition. So I'm like, this is not fun.
What's worse, Smash or Tetris?
Honestly, both.
Tetris is literally insane.
It's like, not my best side when I'm losing that badly.
Yeah, I'm okay taking a loss, but when you lose multiple times, it's just like, why am I doing this? But when you win, it feels so good. And that's usually when I retire.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got my win. I'm done. He's like, don't you want to play one more? No.
Yeah. The first time I beat Tad in Tetris, I'll just like, because we said this. We're like, this is the last game. Like, we're not playing anymore. I promise you guys. And then I actually won. I was like, oh, perfect. And then I left for college, and I was like, I retired a champion, Yeah. And we come back and play Tetris. No, I'm good. I don't want to play Tetris. No. I'm the champion. Actually, hey, you want to know the fun fact?
But if he challenged you and said, "Wow, are you too scared to lose?" That would that's not, to me, that is trash talking, but I don't think it's bad trash talking, because it's just like, are you? Like, it could be like the truth. You don't want to challenge Chad right now because you have a title and you think you're going to lose it. So do you think if he asked you that question, would you want to challenge him then in Tetris?
So this is the thing I'm going to show to the camera.
He didn't hear a word I said.
No, I did.
I just said, if Chad asked you if he won, if you were the champion in Tetris and you came back.
I was kidding. Keep going.
If you were the champion in Tetris and you came back and he asked you, do you want to play Tetris? And you said, no, I'm good. But then he said, why are you too scared to lose? How would you respond to that?
I was like,
let's play.
I said, I either say, well, let's play, or it's like, you're right. I can feel myself either way. Just like,
you're right, and I'm going to keep that title.
Yeah, exactly. I could just like, you're right. So you're just forever second to me. Because in that way, I could also be a winner at the same time. But I actually am a winner at the same time, because there's an online Tetris game, and I am number one in Columbus. Look at this.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I am you can't see it. But it literally says, I'm the number one Tetris player in the city of Columbus, Ohio.
The number one most humble guy you've ever met.
When did you play this?
This picture was taken January 12th, Friday.
I was fast. You found that pretty fast.
Well, it was kind of recent.
Oh.
It was like last month.
Yeah.
How many hours did you play that week?
Many.
Days.
No, but Chad's still a better Tetris player than I am. Even though I'm number one in Columbus, but I'm just kidding.
Chad's actually number one. He just
He hasn't
lost
played
your
it.
title yet.
No, not yet. Yeah. Now I feel arrogant. I shouldn't have said any of that stuff. I'm sorry, guys.
Apologize.
I apologize, everybody.
That was from last podcast, confidence versus arrogance. You were just being arrogant. Is that what you're saying? You're
Yeah.
demonstrating a bit of arrogance.
Yeah, I'm demonstrating it. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. Anything else you guys got? Anything that you want to add or discuss or anything like that that's coming to your mind?
Trash talking is fun. It just trash talking is fun, and I think it all just comes with discernment and knowing, kind of like what Caitlin was saying. Just like, it depends on what your relationship is with the other person. So like, if you know that like your words are probably going to do more harm than good, then probably don't say it.
Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to say,
And trash talking doesn't always have to be talking. Do you think that?
that's another thing. Yeah, it has to be talking. There's literally talking in the name. Trash talking.
Trash gesturing.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Well, here's the thing. I just do. I have a hard time with holding my expressions after I win and lose, but especially when I win or when I'm about to win, I'm just like, don't smile, which makes it harder. I just want to like start smiling, like I'm about to win. But also, it doesn't help when like someone else looks like they're like defeated and looks like they're about to lose. I'm just like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing for them. And then I'm just like, I don't know how to react to that. I don't know how to react appropriately in those situations. It's kind of awkward, honestly.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm just like looking there. I'm just like, and I just start smiling. And then
so people who are listening can't hear that, but the people on
they
the
can
YouTube,
see. Yeah,
YouTube people. But this is also on Spotify. So you were like, what?
And Apple Podcasts.
And Apple Podcasts.
So basically, like I actually do smirk a lot when I'm winning, but usually right when they're about to look at me, that's when I stop smirking. So like it's actually a lot more common than people think. I'm just like, yeah, let's go, and I'm like, yay, and then right when they turn at me, I just have a very serious face.
Interesting.
Not always though. a lot of times when he's beating me, he just gets this look on his face, and it just makes it 10 times worse for me.
It kind of looks like, I can't eat.
Yeah.
Can you mimic the smirk, Caitlin?
I don't even know if I can. It's just like.
Can you do it? Can you
No, I don't think I
reenact
can.
it for us, Luke Smith?
Well, I just have to like replay the moment in my head.
You're gonna have to describe it, Kyle, for the people who can't see it.
Describe what, the smirk?
Yeah.
So after I'm about to win, 3 seconds, and now I won. It kind of looks like this.
He smirked. No, just kidding.
Raise his eyebrows.
Raise
little
eyebrows.
sort of grin.
Big.
Half smile.
Sometimes half smile. Sometimes a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Sometimes a quarter smile.
You can see the dimples. Dimples are showing.
And it's just a little grin.
I'm happy. Yeah. But also another thing with trash talking. I was talking about relationships, and then there was something else. I can't remember.
I just wanted to bring up sometimes when we're playing dominoes and I do the slamming of the dominoes. That's kind of a trash
Gesture.
Talk.
Yeah. He also does a little slide with his cards, his playing cards, when he like knows what card he's gonna do, and he's like, he just kind of slides it.
I'm just letting
side
you
to
know.
side,
I know what
horizontal,
card you're gonna play.
and
I know
his
what
is
you're gonna
better.
And
Something like that. You can just see it in his
better.
face. I definitely want to
yeah.
beat Dad. I want to put him in his place when I play games against him.
Dude, I just realized this. I'm like a lot shorter than you guys the way I've been sitting this whole time.
You're a lot what?
Been shorter.
Oh. No, I think we're like the same, if not taller for you.
Really?
He's definitely slouched.
I'm slouched though.
There was something else about trash talking. It wasn't about relationships, and I was actually trying to think about it, but then we got off topic. I don't know. Do you have anything to say?
If you can think of it, I'm going to go ahead and close out this episode because
You can never close it out. Not with me and Luke in here.
We will talk all night.
All day. Let's talk about. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We can close it.
yeah. Once we do close it, you're going to be like chat. Oh, we should have did it on the podcast. Chat.
I'm
Oh,
definitely
we should
gonna
have
be
did this
like
on the podcast. You definitely.
Well, I think Caitlin and Luke and me and you had all good things to say today, so I'm actually impressed.
I know what else I had to say.
All right.
It just came back finally. But I was going to say, I like to have a lot of fun, but there are times, this kind of goes back to discernment. There are times where I'm not in the mood to have fun. So it's like, and I was thinking about track specifically, like sometimes I'm very talkative and just talk a lot about myself and about other people, and I try to have like that friendly banter. And then there's times I'm like, wow, each meet has been disappointing. I've been not meeting up to my expectations multiple times. So then I'm no longer in like the fun, like let's keep talking all fun about it, because it's just, I'm in a frustrated state. So usually I feel like, at least from my experience, my teammates had good discernment with like knowing when to stop their bantering when I'm having like multiple weeks of bad track meets. Mm-hmm. And they would like not continue to banter because I just knowing it's probably not wise to do it. But there are times where like everyone's being successful, like this person's being successful, I'm being successful, and it's still fun to banter because we're just pushing each other to like be better. So I think it kind of goes back to discernment, but that was on my mind.
Yeah, I think that's good. It's a good way to close out this episode. We are appreciate you guys participating and being on this. I think this is our fifth or sixth episode, and hopefully we'll get you to do some more at some other time when we get there. So
thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been good. So do you want to say anything before I sign off, Kyle?
I need the mic to say the piece.
Oh, okay. So, hey, whatever you guys do, whether you are trash talking or not, but when you are in competition, make sure you run in such a way that you will win the prize.
Peace.
Peace.